Hey there, thank you for waking up with Happy Eyes, where we come together to grow in mind, body, and spirit so we can in turn go out and make the world a brighter and sweeter place to live for ourselves and for others. Well, y'all, I am here with my good, sweet, precious friend, Jennifer Vigil, and I love what she said before we went on air. I said, have you ever done a podcast sitting on a bed before? And what did you say?
I said I never have, and I never thought I would be a mattress actress. It's a new one. Definitely a new one.
Is that, y'all got that from up north? Is that an up north saying?
I think it's like no, it's from social media.
Social media? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I've never gotten that one, so I love it. I love it. Well, I met you many, many, many years ago, and I was always so impressed because you're just a badass woman. You're a freaking badass woman. You're a badass woman. But not only you're a badass woman, you're kind. Because I used to get intimidated by badass women. I know a lot of that are like Becca Hardin's a badass woman.
Agreed.
And she's kind.
She is.
And
lovely.
You're a badass woman and you're kind. So that's cool to me.
I always just think that like badass women are just interpreted that way because we have real high expectations.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We do. But it's mostly of ourselves.
Oh, it is. It's definitely.
It's not other people. I mean, we do want other people to do, but it's mostly ourselves, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you visit Panama City.
Yep.
And how long have you done that?
This is my 10-year anniversary.
No!
October will be 10 years. Yeah.
I did this on purpose. This was a 10-year anniversry special. That's why I did it.
Yeah, 10 years ago, October, I came over from Visit South Walton and we started Destination Panama City from the ground up.
That is amazing. So it's called Destination Panama City, not Visit Panama City.
It's both. We have the URLs for both. So
Okay, so I didn't get it wrong. So you started 10 years ago. Did you go to college for stuff like that, or you just make it up?
No, surprisingly, no. All of the things have changed so much. In the 50s, 60s, 70s, if you were in marketing, you had to be like an artist, a creative designer, or something like that. With the advancements of technology, it's really more about behavioral science.
Oh, yeah,
so
100.
Yeah, so it's much more a STEM field, science, technology, engineering. And my undergraduate is actually in computer science programming. So I'm a data analyst.
Oh, yeah. I would not have guessed that.
Right? Nobody does.
Stop it.
I'm not even kidding you. Most of the jobs I've gotten are because I understand the data and I can speak to the engineers and the scientists and I can relay that information to the general public in a way that they understand.
Well, now I'm intimidated by you. Because, I don't even understand people that know how to do that stuff. I mean, that's just so foreign to me.
It's math. It's all math.
Okay.
I was like, Bob,
I'm not math.
My first breakaway from, the STEM field, really, was I wanted to get my master's degree. I really thought I would be a city or a county manager. That was just the goal, and I thought that's what I was going to do. And the person I worked for decided that tuition reimbursement wasn't for graduate degrees. So I said, okay, I need to find a different way around. I couldn't be a single mom supporting 2 little girls, paying for daycare, and paying for a graduate program. And Bob Micah came to me and said, we have this broken program at the county, and if you come over here and fix it, I'll help you get your master's degree.
Wow.
So I had to go through the normal process. I had to apply like everybody else, had to do all those things. But, they really kept their word. And all that program was being a salesperson for the engineering department. So the county has a public-private partnership program. And I just had to go out and explain to citizens why the engineers wanted to do certain projects in their area. And it would get done faster and increase their property values if they financially contributed. So I used to convince people to pay more in taxes so that they would have improvements to their neighborhood. But it gave me so much knowledge about Bay County, so much interaction with the people of Bay County and what was important to them. And, you know, when you have to talk to somebody about their home, that's their home. That's their
I know, because that's what I do.
home.
So,
So understanding the value of wanting to protect somebody's home and keeping it to what they think is their version of paradise was a big part of that. So growing into tourism was kind of natural.
That's so wild to me because, like, Bob Micah, what a fine person. He
Excellent.
is a brilliant man.
Yep.
And I love it when he obviously saw the brilliance in you and saw that you had something to offer. So when you came to do the job that you're doing now 10 years ago, that's so hard, crazy. Where were you? You were working in Walton County then?
I was. I still lived in Bay County, but I was working in Walton County as their number 2 person at their tourism agency.
So it's so cool because you did this. Now, how many people are in your department now?
So if you include me, Destination Panama City has 5 people.
Wow.
And it was a night and day change. You know, Visit South Walton is great. South Walton's a beautiful destination.
Oh, yeah.
It's the 8th largest in Florida, and Florida is one of the biggest tourism destinations in the world. So when you're working for an agency like that, you're the top of the top. And I was getting a little bored. Everything was easy and routine, and I had been there for a few years, and Panama City called me and said, we just want you to know we're going to be advertising nationally, and we really hope that you apply. So I went to my boss at South Walton and I said, I need another challenge. And I think this is it. I don't think I fully thought it through because in South Walton, my budget was huge. You could do anything. When I got to work at Destination Panama City on the first day, I didn't realize that when you start an organization from the ground up, you don't even have a chair to sit in.
What?
I had no, we didn't even have the name Destination Panama City. We had a legal name, but...
So you started from the ground up.
Yes, we had no phone number. We had no address. We had no logo. We had no...
We want you to visit us, but
you're going to have to build the business first. So it was a shock.
You asked for a challenge.
I did ask for a challenge, and it's been an amazing 10 years.
That's so cool to me. I love it. Well, you know, when I was talking about, I've always had this thing about people that are smart. And I run a big business, but I still, when I'm in presence of people like you, people like Becca, different people that are very smart women who run really powerful organizations, I always feel like I can't even be in the room with y'all, which is, I know it's silly.
Crazy.
I know. I just still don't, I'm so amazed by y'all. So amazed. But the reason I'm saying all that is once I meet these women, met you, met Becca, met other women who of great power and presence, when they're kind and tender and compassionate, when they strip off that moniker or whatever, then when you see them in public or whatever, they're just sweet, kind, loving, ambitious people.
I know. I think when we look at people from far away, we decide what they are before, because I don't think I've ever changed.
Yeah.
I mean,
I haven't either. I'm exactly the same. I'm same in business, same in personal. Yeah, not that same. Yeah.
I mean, I have 2 daughters that make fun of me on a daily basis and keep me extremely grounded. So I don't think that I'm not going to forget where I came from. I mean, I started as a bartender. I'm just like everybody else.
I used to do that. I was a bartender. I was a traveling tavern wench at the golf course.
Nice.
That's how I put myself through school and all that stuff like that. Yeah.
It's how we get customer service and how we learn to talk to.
Yeah.
I always think people should have to do some kind of hospitality job.
Yes.
Or some kind of job where they have to deal with the public, because really learning how to navigate a conversation, and especially if it's an uncomfortable conversation, those are the worst, but you have to have them. You can't
not have the last word. You have to learn to just be gracious with people and let, especially in the business that we're in, let them have the last word. I'll never forget this, the story. So I'm, broker, owner of Beach, and I'm a woman. Well, obviously that's obvious, but as a woman leader, when my husband was alive, we had the conversation that if I got in a pinch and someone was being very rude to me, that he could not intervene.
Right.
That he could not step in. He could not be the man.
Right.
I had to take control of the situation and had to power through it, and not to ever, unless I said, help, don't do it. So one time, I'm real good at being cool and calm when people are crazy. Really good at that. That's my superpower, staying calm and cool. So I'm in the office, and a guy is screaming at me because his appraisal came out bad. Like I have any control over that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's screaming at me. So I don't know about this, but my husband and another guy are outside the door, and my husband's going, another guy's going, and he goes, nope,
Yeah.
I can't do it. She will lose her authority. She is the leader of this company. I am not the leader of this company. I have to back. I can't do it. I want to, but I can't. So I handled the guy. When we walked out of the room, the guy was laughing and cutting up with me. Now, what would have happened if he'd intervened? So that's my superpower, staying cool, calm, and collected when people are crazy. And they get crazy a lot in real estate. So what's your superpower?
I work in agencies. Even, before I was in tourism, I was still in municipal government, county government, state government. And people get very emotional. And a lot of times they're not even emotional about the thing that they're emotional about. Right. They're having a bad day. Grandma's sick. The dog is unwell. Their kids aren't doing what they want them to do. Their relationship is broken, and they have to be mad at somebody. So they're going to be mad at that. And it's real easy to be mad at your water bill or your tax bill or whatever. So dealing with completely irate people and just being unaffected until they can calm down and say, hey, listen, I'm hearing you, but I need you to calm down. We can try to work something out, but I need you to calm down. And I think that having a lot of that customer service, when you learn it in hospitality, goes to that end, because a lot of times, I always think, why do people go out to eat when they're in a bad mood? I never go out to eat when I'm in a bad mood.
I'm always in a good mood because I'm going out to eat.
I'm not going to have to do dishes. Somebody else is cooking for me. Somebody else is going to refill my drink. How are you in a bad mood when you go out to eat? But some people go out in a bad mood, and those poor servers have to deal with it. They have to navigate it, and it's just one of those skill sets that when you bring forward, it really propels whatever your career is, if you're a good communicator. And not having a male figure. I mean, there were plenty of times when I was in my late 20s when men would say, where's your boss, sweetheart? And I'd be like, I actually am the boss. I am the boss.
I know.
I am the boss, sir.
I know.
And so it was always a joke, but it always really helps smooth things over. And I think when you're nice and considerate with people, it's really difficult for them to stay at that level of angry where they can't communicate in an effective way.
That's what happened with this guy. It was mad about the appraisal. I mean, he was yelling at me, and by the end, he was laughing with me. Yep. But if I had pushed back and been ugly, or if my husband had intervened or anything like that, then it would have ended differently. One thing too that I think so cool that I have loved, you and I are at speaking things every day. I love that last talk you did, where you did the usual suspect.
Oh my
that
God.
was hilarious.
Thank you.
That was one of the best talks. I feel both Jana Leach, who I love. Oh, I have great admiration for that woman.
She's brilliant.
She's brilliant. And I'm always so amazed because, she runs, does all the tourism
marketing for the beach.
For the beach. And you are over there in town, and y'all are both so brilliant. But that day, both of you spoke, and it was so cool. I just thought that was so good. But your thing about the usual suspects in your life, and that, because you said you watch murder mysteries and stuff like that.
So
that was so funny.
I'll be honest, that I pulled out of nowhere. Carly, who works at the chamber.
Yeah, darling.
Big fan, lover.
Darling.
Whenever she calls me, I always say yes.
Oh, I do too. Me too.
Yeah, even if I don't know what I'm supposed to do, I'll just say yes.
Same.
And she said, will you speak at this women's series? And I was like, oh yeah, sure. I'm in town. I'll put it on my calendar. I didn't realize I was flying back from Aruba the day before. So I wasn't going to work on a presentation while I was in Aruba. And she texted me while I was on the airplane and said, can you send me your slides for your presentation? And I knew that Jana was doing hers on, relating it to Taylor Swift lyrics.
That was so darling.
It was super darling.
Oh, so darling.
And she told me, she's like, well, you can do yours on Taylor. And I'm like, I mean, not that I don't like Taylor Swift, but I think I only know 3 to 5 songs. And I was like, I don't think I can fake that. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no. And so I'm in the airplane texting Carly, and I was watching an NCIS or, Murder TV. Mm-hmm. Murder TV is what I always watch. Mm-hmm. And I said to Carly, I was like, hey, so I'm not doing Taylor Swift. I don't know enough about it. I think I'm going to do my speech on Murder TV.
And I also don't have a PowerPoint.
And I don't have a PowerPoint. And so she's like, I got no response. And I'm looking at my phone to see, I don't know if it's the plane that's making it. And I was like,
or is she backing out of you coming?
Yeah. So I was like, did you get my message? Do you think it's a bad idea? And she's like, oh my goodness, I thought you were kidding. And I was like, oh gosh. And I'm like, no, pretty much. That's the idea that I have. It's the only one I have. And she's like, well, what's the plan? And I said, I'm going to put up people's faces on a detective board. And I'm going to say, this person left these clues, these lessons in my life.
And it was all done with paper?
Yeah.
It was like she was doing a presentation when she's in 3rd grade.
I just whipped the cover paper.
It was so awesome.
It was hilarious. But the end of it was, I thought it was pretty brilliant. Because the end of it, I said,
it was amazing.
We've gone through who the suspects are in my life, mm-hmm. and all the clues or lessons they left for me that made me the person I am today. Mm-hmm. And I was like, and your assignment today is to think about who the suspects are in your life, mm-hmm. but more importantly, who are you a suspect in someone else's life?
How can you be
a suspect for somebody else and be that impactful and help them make their dreams come true, steer them down the right road?
It was so cool. It was really I laughed, but it wasn't just meaningful. It was funny. It was just so lighthearted, but yet powerful. I loved something that was very interesting, because if you know you at all, you know that your father was your hero. Your father was the person who raised you, who took care of you. And your mother, we just really, to be honest with you, that's the first time I heard you even really mention your mother and who she was in your life. And you were able to talk about the fact that even though your mother really wasn't what you would think as
motherly,
you learned some amazing things from her.
My dad passed away now. My mom is still alive and well in New York, but never ceases to amaze me. Love her to death, but a part of doing the things that we do as a boss, as a powerful, as somebody that has to maintain the power in the space that we're in. No, there's nothing that someone can say to me that will hurt my feelings.
I know, because of your mother.
Because of my mom. My mom is, I always like to say, she's just a standard New York mom. I'm from New York. And in New York, it's a lot of banter. It's a lot of quick wit. And it is a little
bit of ridicule, a lot of sarcasm.
A lot of bluntness. And so, things that she has said to me over the years, if I say them to people, they're like, oh my gosh. I'm like, it's hilarious.
Tell me something. Give me an example. I know some of them because I heard your presentation. Give me an example.
One of one of my mom's favorite things, she usually says 3 different things to me. Is that what you're going to wear? Mm-hmm. If I were you, I'd... And you know what your problem is? So I think it's like always hilarious because she's never been in a role like mine. Mm-hmm. She doesn't... I don't have the same relationship with her that I have with my daughters. Mm-hmm. And, when my daughters were little, they were like, are you sure she's your mom?
I know. But I think, I'll say this, because I've got other girlfriends like this too. Like Jody, my girlfriend Jody.
Yeah.
And Jody's mother, though, was horrible. I mean, she was a narcissist, and Jody had to divorce her mother. I mean, she literally divorced her life with her mother because she did not want her mother to have the same negative impact on her daughters that she had on her, because it was sick. It was not good.
Yeah.
And so she did that. She had to do that. So that's always amazing to me because I had such a wonderful, wonderful mother. But so you did the same thing, but your mother was awful, but she taught you some lessons that you knew you wanted to raise your children differently.
Sometimes you just have to learn what not to do.
Right.
Sometimes people are in your life to show you what not to do. Yeah. And I love my mom. I appreciate her. If it were
you're able to laugh about it now too.
I think we have laughed about it forever. Mm-hmm. Like my parents got divorced when I was very young, and I will say that part of the good relationship I have with my mom is due to my dad. Because if I ever got upset with my mom about something she said, or, when you're a kid, you go running back to the other parent and you play one against the other. And my dad had the wherewithal to look at me every time and say, I'm sorry, but you can't come to me and complain about her because she gifted me you.
Wow.
And there will always be value in that. So he was never going to belittle her, berate her, not support her. He was always going to be there for her. And I think about it, and I was like, were it not for her, I wouldn't be fortunate enough to have my sisters, to have my children. So I just think everything works the way it's supposed to work, and you got to take the best from it.
Okay, you know what? Hold that thought. Okay. We're gonna break for my wonderful sponsors that make this possible.
Wonderful.
So, Jennifer, I always feel like really like I'm big time because I have sponsors. I think I've made it now.
That is big
cool?
Time. Yeah.
Well, it took me a long time to get sponsors because I was afraid to ask.
Yeah.
I was scared to ask. But then when my pocketbook got less and less and less, and I had to pay people to help me do this stuff, I finally stopped being afraid, and I've got some great sponsors. And I'm going to start with Beachy Beach first. I normally save them to last, but I'm going to go ahead and thank Beachy Beach. So my partners at Beachy Beach love what I do. They love my podcast. I think every time I say my happy ass life, they start laughing. They think it's hilarious. So they believe in it. So they do sponsor me. I appreciate that. Yeah. I have a new sponsor this season. It's the Final Touch Design. Have you ever met them?
No.
Super nice people. Marsha and Skip Wall. They're like my little groupies. Whenever I'm speaking places, they show up and support me. They're That's so awesome. Precious. And like in my office, they're the ones that did my summer kitchen. And it's beautiful. So what they do is they do like remodels of kitchens, bathrooms, and they do summer kitchens and stuff. For the summer kitchen, they use this thing called Nature Cast. I think this guy down in Freeport or something like that is the one that invented this product that never rusts, never gets old. So it's pretty cool. So they're pretty amazing. And I always like to tell this part of the story because it's so cool. They wanted to sponsor me, not so much because they thought it would give them stuff.
Visibility.
They wanted to be a part of putting positivity out in the world.
That's adorable.
I mean, is it on brand for me or what?
It is.
They got my heart on that one.
Well, just making beautiful spaces is all about you. Look at this.
That's so sweet. Oh, I didn't even script that. That's awesome. I love it. So, but the other one is somebody that I know about that kind of stuff, like decor and stuff like that. That's my thing. That's my jam. This other person I met speaks a language that I don't understand. I don't get it. You would get it because you know numbers. So this is Brian Yormack with Bay Tax. And I don't know if you've ever heard of this or not before, but I know you've heard of this part. So what you do when you have a building, a commercial building, you get to depreciate,
right?
But you do it over time,
right?
So a little bit here, a little bit there, and they say this has this much life and stuff like that. But what this does is called a cost segregation study. I don't know if you ever heard it or not, but what you do is they come in and they assess your building and they find out exactly what all those pieces, parts are, what the depreciation would be, but they escalate it. They do it like over like a few years rather than 30 years. That's amazing. So it saves you hundreds of thousands of dollars on a big building like mine. So I saved a lot of money. I don't understand any of it, but I do know I saved money. I know that. And Brian knows what's going on. But this is the thing that I want to tell people. Don't assume that your accountant knows about it. And my accountant did not tell me about this. Brian Yormack came to my office, gave a presentation. It took me about 3 times to understand it because I'm not a numbers person, but I finally got it. Another thing that they do this thing, the ERC credit, where you get tax money or get credits if you kept all your people working like I did.
Right.
Now, that's about to run out. So if you or someone you love wants to do that, please reach out to Bay Tax now because there is a time limit on that. So thank you to my sponsors. You're the reason I get to keep on doing this. I get to pay my wonderful producer, Ashley, and all the other sweet people that make this happen. So I'm excited. So I want to ask you this. You talked about something off air, and I want to share this because I think this might come out before the election, but even if it doesn't, that's a really amazing thing that you just told me. You just told me that a very small percent, I'm talking tiny percentage of Bay County shows up to vote for these special elections.
Nationwide, we definitely don't have great voter turnout. Bay County and Florida in general tends to be a little bit low on the voter turnout. But it's different. You know, we are in an election cycle right now for municipal elections. And because some of the cities in our county don't have their elections on the general election schedule, they do it on Municipal Tuesday. It's a kind of a, even though local government is the closest government to home, closest to the people, it's often the most overlooked because a lot of people think, oh, I have to get to the poll because I have to vote for who's president. But, you know, if it rains on election day, somebody could say, oh, I'm not going to make it. And so we really will see, you know, we would be lucky if we saw between 10 and 15% of municipal voters turn out to vote for their prospective elected officials.
And you said, too, that it could be as little as like 1,500 people showing up.
For sure.
That's crazy.
Yep.
That's just bananas to me. It's bananas to me. And so I guess the reason I'm saying this, and even this is, I hope it's not after. I hope that we can have that out there. But it's important to vote. It's important to vote. It's important. This is what I've always said. If you don't vote, you can't complain. If you don't vote, you do not have a right to complain. You only have a right to complain if you've been part of the process. You've got to vote.
So I think in all the years of trying to educate people on the government side, I always say I was on the government side and now I'm on the bright side because I get to talk about sunsets and rainbows. But on the government side, in trying to explain to people, their perception is always based on when they enter the conversation. So you'll have people that will come to the table that are saying, why are you trying to cram this down our throats? When really it's a project that's been in the works for a decade or better. And it's just because it's when they came to the table, that's when they started becoming educated. So their opinion is predicated on when they enter the conversation.
Right, the limited information that they have about it. Yeah.
So the sooner they start paying attention, the more well-rounded their decisions will be. And I think a lot of people just get overwhelmed, like, I don't know either one, I don't know who I should vote for.
Oh, wow.
So, but it doesn't take a lot to pay attention sometimes.
That's so amazing to me. So that I knew it was low, but I didn't know it was that low. So that's
pretty low.
super, super important. So decisions can be made for the wrong party if enough people don't get out and vote.
That absolutely.
Cray. I couldn't be doing politics. I don't, and I'm going to ask you about something. This is general, so we're not going to talk specific politics because I don't do that. But I noticed the other day, I have a policy at Beachy Beach. We do not talk politics.
Right.
I have a
good
strict
policy.
social media. Obviously, all brokers don't have that same policy. I mean, it's a strict social media policy. We don't talk politics. We don't enter into any conversations that are controversial or divisive. Mm-hmm. We just don't do that because we want to be the representative of everybody, whether the Democrat, Republican, whatever. It doesn't matter to us. I want to be a voice for all people.
Welcoming.
And that's what you are. You're a voice for all people. So there was someone that kept coming on your page trying to get political. And you had to let them know that, hey, I've asked you not to do this.
Right.
I just can't have this on my page.
I gave her the benefit of the doubt. I thought that, a lot of people aren't social media savvy. So I didn't know if she thought she was sending me a private message or if she just didn't know the difference between like posting on somebody's page versus like sharing an article or something like that. So the first few times I just deleted the content. Thankfully I get up at the crack of dawn.
Oh, yeah, me too.
And I would just see it in the morning and delete it, and no big deal. And so then I sent her a message because it was getting more frequent, and she asked me to block her and said that essentially I was impairing her First Amendment rights. And I just said, I'll, as you wish. I will block you because I don't think you understand social media or the fact that I have to be somebody that any person can feel comfortable talking
100%.
to.
Yeah.
Obviously I'm going to have my own personal beliefs, but I need to make it so that when they see my door, they feel comfortable walking in.
Anybody can.
I think any business should probably feel that way.
I'm shocked that people don't. I'm like, I don't allow people to talk ugly about a restaurant. I don't allow. We just don't do that. It's just not good practice. Number one, it goes completely against my business philosophy and how I believe you should treat others and how I think you should be in business and that kind of thing. So I don't do it. So this is something I always ask people because I'm just I am like a voracious reader and I love to read. I read all the time. So do you like to read?
I do.
So tell me some of the books you're reading right now or books you read that you loved.
I read like professional development or personal development books.
I read a lot of that stuff.
So it's usually not things with like a plot.
Yeah,
it's normally
I mostly read nonfiction.
Yeah. So The Switch by the Heath brothers is one of my all-time favorite books. And it really allows you to navigate conversations. It improves your ability to flip the switch in someone else's mind on how you can make their perception be different and their perspective change. So it's a really interesting book. I love it a lot. The other book that I probably love most is Snowball, the Warren Buffett biography book.
Is it good?
It's a long read.
Yeah, but I love Warren Buffett.
It's really, I really love that book. So I do really, I read mostly just to kind of improve whatever it is that I can give back. Other than that, murder TV. I don't even read murder books. I watch murder TV.
But you want to get really into it. You want to watch murder TV. I don't watch any of that stuff.
I don't even know if I watch murder TV. I like how calm their voice is. Like, mayhem is going on. People are dying.
All calm.
And they're like, and then 48 hours later, da-da-da. And I'm like, amazing. And the good guys always win on murder TV. Yeah. They always figure out who did it.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe I might want to start watching murder TV. I don't know. I'm a big reader. I'm a huge reader. My girlfriend Angie, I just taped a podcast with her, and And she told me about But When the Heart Waits, I think, by a Sue kid. And she told me about it. She says she told me about it a few years ago, and I just totally forgot about it. Oh my gosh. I started reading it today. I am like freaking out. It is so good.
What's it about?
It's about, she kind of hits a crisis in her life, like want to do something different, like with me, because I'm trying to do my next. I mean, I'm not leaving what I am, but I've got things I'm working on, like my speaking and coaching businesses and things like that, and writing, stuff like that. And so it's about her kind of really tapping into her spiritual essence and learning how to find who she really is, be super authentic, and follow that path. It's so good. I was just so, it
takes a lot of bravery, I feel like.
Huh? Yeah.
It takes a lot of bravery for people to go from comfort to...
I love doing that,
to the unknown.
I'm a weirdo. I don't like to do, like, I was a school teacher, and then I sold Mary Kay, became a director. Then I started doing real estate. And I've done my podcast now. This is my 6th season. Well, we're 5 seasons, but I had been doing it started it during COVID. So 2020 is when I started it. And then we started doing it the more professional way by Ashley would turn them into, put them on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, all those things. So we become more professional the last many seasons. And then got really special having sponsors. So who knows? Maybe somebody will listen now eventually. But yeah. So I like to do different things. Like I want to continually be doing new and daring things until the day I die. I didn't start Beachy Beach till I was 50.
There's a poster somewhere. It's got a bird on it, but I can see it in my head. And it says, complacency and contentment are the enemy of greatness.
Oh, wow.
And it's got this bird on it. I don't know who said it, but I can see the poster in my head. Yeah. So it must have made a difference whenever I read it that day. But, yeah.
Because I feel that way. I don't want to... But I was telling Angie earlier, I said, part of me wishes I wasn't this way. Part of me wishes that I could just walk into the sunset and relax.
Embrace
like other
the rut.
people.
Embrace the rut, I call it.
Yeah, but that's just not who I am.
Good enough isn't good enough.
No, good enough is definitely not good enough.
Yeah.
So I already know that you like to read, but you're like me. You like to read self-development books. That's mostly what I like to read. I do like to read fiction too. I do like to read fiction, and but I like to read fiction that makes me think. I don't want it to be just dumb fiction. I want to be thought provoked, and I want to be. And a lot of times, I will write down passages from fiction books, and if you're doing that, then it's some good stuff. But so I love to read. I love to, I love to work out, which you love to work out too. So, what are other things that you like to do besides make Panama City amazing?
I write. I don't write as much as I used to.
I know I love to write, but I'm scared to show it to people.
Yeah, I don't like to show it to people. I love my dog. I love hanging out with my girls. I'm very good at when I'm on the clock. I'm on the clock, and it is work. It is, I will put in, 12 hours in an 8-hour day. But when I'm off, I want to be there and be present for my friends. Like I've had the best friends that I have, I've known the entire 30 years I've been here. And I probably talk to them a couple times a week. I probably hang out with them a couple times a week. I need that interaction because I don't even think they know what I do.
Isn't that funny?
They just know me as Jen. So it makes no difference in the world what my job is or who I am. They'll call or they'll show up in front of my house and on the golf cart and honk the horn and be like, we're riding through the state park. And I'm like, let's go. So I personally need that kind of, downtime to sit and watch the sunset. There's a reason why I live here. I moved here from New York 30 years ago, and it has always felt like we belonged here.
Isn't it amazing? I love it. I'm the same way about here. I moved here when I was 25 years old. And I always knew I'd live at the beach because we had a beach house when I was a little girl. I was from Alabama and only like hour and 45 minutes away. But I have always had such a conviction of loving this place. I mean, I truly, and I get aggravated when people complain about it.
Me too.
I get really upset when people complain about my precious beach because I'm going, we live in an amazing, I mean, people
save all
year long to come where we live.
Yes.
And we live here.
We live here.
And we take it for granted. I don't take it for granted. I'll drive on that front beach. I freaking love living here.
You know, we both go to the same gym.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When I leave the gym in the morning, I could go the straight route home, but I don't. I turn by Alf Coleman and I go down by the pier and I look at the water.
Yeah, I go down the beach too.
Yeah, before I go home. Yep. I want to see what's going on in the water and see how the day is going to go.
I do the exact same thing. I drive down the water and then I drive over to Starbucks and get me my Starbucks. Yeah.
And I just think we're so lucky to be here.
Lucky.
And I'm grateful for every day that I get to be here. But just the weather, the ability to hear live music. I know Ashley is your producer.
Oh, but she's amazing. Amazing musician. Amazing music. And I love folk. It's kind of folky.
So I love live music. I bought my house because there's 17 bars or restaurants that have live music all around my house. And I just like going and listening to talented people. Your producer, Ashley.
I know. She's amazing. She's very amazing.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of like my happy place. We live in paradise. We get to have patio culture where we sit outside and in the fresh air, listen to live music. It's like in your house, you have real art. Mm-hmm. I want real music.
Yeah, I got a lot of real art. I love it. Yeah. You know, and I love music too. I think I'm just at a stage in my life right now with the kids that I don't get to do that kind of thing. You know, I'm at ball games or theater or doing homework because I'm like an old mother right now. You know, so I don't get to do that stuff. But, you know, I am so grateful for living here and love the people. The people are so kind and sweet. And I think a lot of it's because we're all from somewhere else.
Right.
So we all just kind of understand when new people come. We just kind of... And I'm always excited. I don't know if you're like this. I always am so excited when somebody moves here and they love it. Yes. I'm so happy for them. And I just want to make sure they really love it.
I always get excited when they tell me about someplace they've been that I love. And like, they'll be like, oh, have you ever been to Bayou Joe's? And I'm like, I'm so happy. Oh. I'm so happy you like ventured off the beaten path and went to Bayou Joe's and got to watch a dolphin swim by while you ate your trash burger. I love that for you.
Gosh. Oh, I gotta go. I haven't been there in forever. I gotta go there. So, Jennifer, I have loved you being here with me on this. It's been really sweet. I really enjoy you. I have loved you since I first met you. And it was easy not to be intimidated. I'm usually intimidated by strong women, like I said, but it's easy not to be intimidated by you because you have just such this kind, warm way of being that makes you feel real comfortable around you. And I'm always so happy when I see you.
You're a vote of confidence. I probably wouldn't have made it through women's series, my first breakout session speeches, if you had not been the solo person. Shoot, you were just sitting alone in the class, and I was like, I don't think I can do this. And you're like, yes, you can. Yes, you can.
That was a good moment together.
You were my little cheerleader before. We didn't even really know each other that well. I think we'd met like a handful of times.
I always loved you anyway.
I feel like you always cheer for everybody.
Oh.
Like there is no team, there is no win. You're like, we can all do it. Let's go. I mean, even at the gym in the morning, you're like, hey, Jennifer. Good morning, sweetheart.
I do like that. I like loving people.
You do.
I don't have a lot of talent. I can't sing at all.
Same.
I'm definitely not a good housekeeper. We've established that. I'm not super organized, but I really know how to love people. So
it's a talent.
That's my talent.
It is a talent.
But you can't go on a beauty pageant or anything with that talent. But whatever. So
we're going to win in the end.
Yeah, we win in the end, for sure. Jennifer, I've loved you being here with me today. It's made me very happy, very thankful. You didn't know it's going to be so fancy, sitting on my bed. With a bowl of popcorn.
You called the other day.
I know.
She forgot to call me.
I forgot
just so
to
you
call.
know.
I
She just
did.
told me the other day that I was going to be here. So I'm super happy I'm in town.
Well, I know I couldn't believe it. I was embarrassed to call you because I forgot.
It was hilarious.
I know, I was so embarrassed.
You literally were like, I'm so embarrassed. I need to ask you to be on my podcast. Blah, 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 blah. And then P.S. It's on my bed. It's on my bed.
We're on my bed.
On my bed. So come casual.
You were going to give me a mattress, actress.
That's right.
Eat popcorn while we're doing it. Well, thank you so much. I love it. Do you remember what I say at the end?
Yes.
What do I say?
Be sweet.
Thank you. Yes. Be sweet, y'all. Bye.